Hey, welcome everybody to the Rob Saul Show. We are live. We've been on a hiatus for a little bit, and our opening theme is always good when you're gone, but that is not the case tonight, of course. We are celebrating the life of Jamie Yarbrough, the Chicago kid, and we lost him unexpectedly on May 3rd. And it just got around. There were no services, no funeral. So his family, friends, and colleagues will be here tonight celebrating him. And we have a lot of great guests on to talk about Jamie and what he meant. Jamie worked for this show. I know he worked for Chicago for a little bit. And, he mainly worked for the fans. He was always getting that rare, like archive stuff that nobody else could get. And he was more than happy to share it with everybody and all the fans. And, he was just like a dear friend of mine. And he did a lot of work with the show. And it's going to be weird doing the show tonight with a lot of his friends, formerly of the band Chicago, because he would usually call me in the middle of the night after each show. And I would get a call at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'd be like, hello. And usually on the other end, I would hear something like this. Hey, could you please stop fawning over Bill Champlin like a little schoolgirl? And he would be upset with me. So, he was a good dude and a good friend. And the last conversation I had with him was in the middle of the night, 3 in the morning, just laughing and having a good time. And I hadn't heard from him. I said, what happened? Jamie, I haven't heard from Jamie, but then I got the news, and it was very tragic. So we're going to honor him tonight. And let's start with bringing in guests. Our guest tonight is a award-winning songwriter. She's worked with many great artists you've known doing vocals and writing. Take a look, Tamara Champlin.
These star-crossed lovers 100 miles or more from here, singing shoo-rah, shoo-rah. All the girls go crazy, shoo-rah, shoo-rah. Is everybody's baby. He breaks their heart, but it leaves them with a smile, singing shoo-rah, 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 shoo-rah. He lets it cold.
All right. And joining Tamara is her husband, Grammy Award-winning songwriter. He was in the band Chicago for almost 30 years as a keyboardist, guitar, and sang lead vocals on many of the tunes including their number one hit, Look Away. We have her husband, Bill Champlin. Take a look. Bill Champlin.
So long ago, one night time, you listen to me, girl. Got to have you. Feel the magic when I hold you. Fly sweet to the door.
All right, here they are, Bill and Tamara Champlin. Bill, Tamara, how are you guys?
Yeah, can we get that guy to sing the melody? Well, I did sing the melody. No, he didn't. Yeah, I sang the melody that I sang.
That's the melody I liked. I tell you, I went to every concert.
Hey, man, you didn't sing the melody. Yeah, I did. I sang the melody that I sang. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. Guys, thank you for coming. I know this would mean a lot to Jamie. Jamie loved both of you. Of course, as I said earlier, Jamie knew what a big fan I was of Bill, and then I met Tamara and became a fan of Tamara. And, he loved when you guys were on, except he said I doted over Bill too much like a little girl. But here we are. But yeah, I mean, you guys, Tamara was actually.
We were going to try to work up a vocal version of the Tonight Show theme. Hey! You got to have A put just in the right place.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody would say, you didn't sing the melody. All right. Anyway, we'll leave that one alone, won't we?
Not the melody, yeah, but no, yeah.
The melody. Oh, my God, not the melody.
Yeah.
I asked Tristan Bowden one time, I said, let me ask you a question. Because just played for 12 years with Kenny Loggins. I said, did Kenny get a lot of shit from people about singing his songs exactly the way he did on the record? He said if he did that, his audience would hang him from a tree.
Well,
they expected him to let it fly. You know what I mean? Which was
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was the same way because I remember, I'm from Atlantic City. We're doing the show live in Atlantic City. I remember every time Chicago came to Atlantic City, they would do 4 nights at Caesars, and I would go to at least 3 or 4 of them. But if you did the same arrangement every night, I wanted. That's what I liked. I said I wanted to see what Bill is going to do tonight because I knew I wasn't going to get the same exact, record copy of the song. And to me,
Alan one time said to me something was really great. He says, when Robert sings his songs, he sings them just like he did on the record, and it takes people back to that moment.
Yeah.
And Peter or Jason would sing. It would take them back to that moment. He says, you sing and you take them to this moment.
Yeah.
You bring it back to the room here and now. It's just like I kind of preferred it because I wasn't there back in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And
by the way, you said it was over 30 years. No,
29.
20.
I said almost 30 years. I thought I said, maybe I did say, I know you were like 27 or 28. I thought I said almost 30 years, but
well, it seemed like 30 years 1 week.
1 week.
1 week it seemed like 30 years.
Yeah, but you even after you left the band, I mean, I saw you when you were with the Players, another great show, and you sounded great. I mean, it's like
Jeff Coffey's a kick in the ass, man. I love him.
He'll be with us.
Great player. He's got a great groove. He sings as good as anybody I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's a fun hang, man. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was,
Keith Howland. I mean, I hardly recognize Keith. He says, "Well, I gained a little weight." I said, "That had nothing to do with it. Where's the blonde hair?"
Oh yeah, he used to have like the frosted tips back in the day and everything. Yeah,
he still plays his brains out. He's a great guitar player, great singer.
Yeah, it was really a great show, and I mean, you guys.
And we brought out. I don't know whether you caught us with Gordon, but we brought out Gordon Campbell on drums. Oh my goodness, that guy he throws down like a big dog, man.
Yeah. It's
weird when, Jeff called me and says, "Hey, we're going to get this guy named Gordon Campbell to play drums with us on the next Players gig." And I went, "Wow." I was, I usually, when I was making my own albums, I usually use Alan Hertz on drums he's also a great Pro Tools engineer, so he'd mix my records. So, it's a one-stop shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Alan had to go back to Nashville. He was working with Styx, I think. Yeah. And so I needed to get a drummer, and Carmen Grillo turned me on to Gordon Campbell. So Gordon, on my new album, the Living for Love album, Gordon played half the drums on that record. And then I found out later on that he was going to be playing with the Players. And I went, he must have passed the audition. He's a major piece of work. Great musician.
You read right here. So Bill sang the melody with greatness. Of course you did. But there's I mean, listen, Bill. Even after you were going from Chicago, No Place to Fall, one of my favorite albums. You did Living for Love, and now I just read that I didn't even know. I was in the dark. A new CWF album is coming out.
Which album?
New CWF.
Oh, CWF.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's every once in a while Peter sends me a Wii transfer with a pretty, I mean, I just tell him just send me an MP3.
Yeah.
I'll load the thing up and sing over it and send you back the files. And we're about four or five tunes down now. I think there's 6 maybe. Some good songs on there. There's some pretty cool stuff. Joe sang on a couple things, and
that's cool. And Tamar's a part of that, right? Tamar, you do vocals with CWF.
What is it? Last Unbroken Heart.
Which this is a duet I did years ago for Miami Vice 2.
Yeah.
By that much, Chief.
In fact, the last time you and Tamar were on the show, you guys performed The Last Unbroken Heart. Yeah. And I mean, we just I got a ton of emails and comments and stuff about that.
I did it at Jay Graydon's studio and I just kind of cut it with Jay, and then he made, we left all the open space for Patti LaBelle to sing. Man, what she is. And then I met her 3 years later.
That's like kind of like when Peter Cetera did. Yeah, like
Michael
Cetera when he
down,
did.
and he met her a couple of years later. It was one of those
Yeah, that's like
really
Cetera. I
crazy.
don't think he ever met
You were
Cher.
actually
Even
not
doing that
being in the
duet.
same room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, yeah, here in the comments too, and I forgot I meant to mention this. Happy birthday, Bill! It's your birthday tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be. What are the big celebration plans for Bill's birthday? What are you? 55,
I was
60?
going to take him out to sushi, but he wanted to eat sushi tonight.
Okay. Well, I think I'll probably spend the day going and fixing my amplifier because I kept blowing up fuses over the weekend. I ended up having to do something else. my boogie's feeling it needs to see the doctor very soon. So
And unless I get to take him out of town for his birthday, we don't really get to do much because he doesn't like the parties I throw.
Oh no, Bill, you don't go out to the clubs partying.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
now let's get to Jamie. What?
Yeah.
Anybody know what happened? All I know is I just read.
Oh,
You know, I mean, I was just becoming aware that the one of the main musicians and bass players in the Sons of Champlin for years and years and years, David Shalleck, hadn't been with the band for a good while, but he just passed away this week. And I found out about David the same day I found out about David Sanborn and Jamie Yarbrough. I said, all these people are dropping like flies. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta, I guess Jamie's a partner that he lived with. He is his girlfriend for over 24 years. They have a daughter together, Amy. I guess reached out to
How's Amy doing?
Tamara. She's doing all right. In fact, I don't know. I'll bring her on real quick. She's in the waiting room and she wants to say hello and thank you guys for coming in. That's Cindy. Cindy, of course, our condolences to you. And
Thank you.
If you wanted to, Bill wanted to know what happened. You don't have to get into great detail, but Bill was wondering how did this come about?
Have anything to do with that tooth infection?
You know about the tooth infection? Because at the same time he had the tooth infection, I had cellulitis. So we were both sick Christmas of 2023. And he had canceled Thanksgiving with his mom and we went that Saturday. But I thought the same thing, that may have put a strain on his heart. And he was a very heavy beer drinker. For the whole time I knew him. I don't know if anybody knew that. And he also did 5 Hour Energy for about 13 years. And he smoked. I mean, and I'm not talking negative about him. It's just what he did. And he was telling me weeks before, maybe for the past year, telling me I haven't feeling too hot. I'm gonna get myself together. We would have plans like either go out to dinner or go to a movie or something. And I just thought I didn't think anything of it. I just thought he had a hangover. But I'm assuming he was feeling things in his heart because of what he was doing in his life. So, and the ironic thing is, probably a month before this happened with him, he told me I'm not going to be around much longer. So he must have been feeling something like heart palpitations or something. So on the 3rd, I didn't hear from him all day. I leave pretty early for work in the morning, and then I go to another job. Didn't hear from him, and I thought that was strange. And probably about 9:00 that night, I called our daughter and I said, "Have you heard from your father?" And she said, "No." I was like, "Well, I'm going to hurry up and close and get out of here." I came home. The screen door was locked, but the heavy door was wide open. And I'm like, "Jamie, can you let me in?" And there's nowhere for him to be found. And I see something through the door on the floor, on the kitchen. And it's him. And I'm trying to get in the house and I get the latch up and I run over to him and I'm like, Jamie. And of all nights, I left my phone at work. The neighbor called the paramedics and they were being a little strange. And I gave the phone back to the neighbor and I was like, "Can somebody please help me? He's on the floor. He's unresponsive." And she says, they're coming, and they're coming down the street. The paramedics came and they said he's gone.
Oh,
Oh, Yeah, I mean, it's tragic. I
Sorry,
mean,
you had to be there.
He was, the coroner said he must have been he must have been like that for at least 4 to 6 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it.
wow.
I mean, when I left for work at 3:30 in the morning, he was snoring on the couch.
Yeah.
So it still breaks my heart. And I never got to tell him so many things. I mean, we met because of the music of Chicago 24 years ago. I met him on the message boards, and he said he had over 100 hours of music of video on VHS.
Wow.
Yeah.
sweet.
And
And he loved you, Bill. He loved you. He loved your voice.
Well, thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, we
Sometimes we would watch in the heat of the night just to listen to you.
Well,
My mom.
we talked a lot over the years, and I was always, he always knew that he was talking when he was talking to me to try to keep the C word to a minimum.
for about 2 hours.
I know. He was on the phone with you, Tamara, one night when I was cooking in the kitchen. And he was just,
for a couple hours.
yes, you would be on the phone with him for hours, because the night I met him and called him in March of 2000, I was on the phone with him for 2.5 hours, and he was a stranger to me. And then we just kept talking and talking. And then he said to me, he goes, why don't you come down to he was living in Mississippi at the time. And he said, why don't you come down to Mississippi? Because I usually follow the band when they're on tour during the summertime. I was like, okay. And we went to 3 concerts. I think we saw you in Birmingham, Chattanooga, and Biloxi. And he knew exactly when you were all leaving, and he said, you want to go meet them at the airport? I was like, what? I've never met anybody. I think I met Billy Joel at the bank I worked at. He was walking in and I was walking out. And we met you all at the airport, except Robert. We didn't meet Robert. We met Robert another time, and we met you all at the airport. You probably don't remember.
lucky you.
I spent top dollar on my memory loss. You know what I mean?
Well, Jamie had a bad memory
I
too.
bargained at the time.
How old is your daughter?
She's 20.
How is Amy doing? Is she all right?
Yeah, I talked to her earlier.
Prayers and thoughts,
Yeah, she said something to me yesterday. She said, it's like one side of the brain, I'm okay with it, and then the other side, I'm not okay with it.
Oh, it
She-
is. You get
I
to-
mean,
even with
losing your father at 20, that's rough.
Yeah.
I lost mine 4 years ago, and my mom 8 years ago, and
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
a different feeling than when you lose somebody that you picked to be with, that you love and you have children with. That's a different feeling.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gone away. I mean, there's stuff in the house that I can't move that he left.
Yeah. I lost a son about I don't know, 8 years ago, around 8 years ago, and
Yeah, he told me.
yeah, and we had just kind of re-plugged back in again, because I mean he was doing what I had done when I was younger, and just drugging out like crazy,
Mhm.
doing way too much. And I don't think I ever did that much, but what happens, it stays there. The pain of the loss stays there, but it kind of finds its own place after a little while. So it's not like an open wound for the rest of your life.
the weird thing is you keep
It eventually starts to cut back a little bit. You know what I mean? You're able to go through your, once you've really celebrated the life of that person, you got a way to get around it. It's not a matter of getting around it. You don't want to get around it.
I don't. I miss him terribly.
Yeah.
And there, and there was you said he was cremated. There was no service or anything. So
No.
we had talked extensively, Cindy, and I'm glad that we could bring everybody together and kind of.
it's really nice you're like having everybody kind of come on the show and
Yeah, Jamie, he was a dear friend of mine. I consider him a really good friend. So I said we gotta honor and celebrate.
have you heard from so and so, or what's so and so doing? And ask Jamie. We all kind of
If you want to know anything about what's going on these days, get a hold of Jamie. He'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cindy
He would tell me stuff as I'm walking out the door to go to work. I'm like, can you tell me this later? I gotta go. And I feel bad now that I said those things to him, but he always knew what was going on. And the strange thing is, we had just seen Leonid and friends the Tuesday before this happened, and he was fine. I mean, the guy walked faster than me. I'm short. He had long legs, and I'm like, how did this happen? I mean, he was fine.
Some people start getting, chest pains and shortness of breath or something like that. And they kind of pass it off like it's just a temporary thing. And they don't really know if it's, and unless you go get it checked and you don't know.
And
so,
we don't, and the sad thing is neither one of us have insurance and we don't go to the doctor. I mean, when I had cellulitis, I had to go to the emergency room, and I begged him. I was like, please, please, I will take you. When he had that mouth infection, I said, please, I will take you. I will drive you to the emergency room. He didn't want that on his credit. I mean, I don't know if something like that would cause, your heart.
The heart is directly connected to your
yes.
You have that bad of an infection gets in your bloodstream.
Yes.
Every nerve in your body goes through your mouth.
To your heart.
So, I know a whole lot of different people and I've known a whole lot of different people over the years who've had way bigger problems than toothaches. But it's tough as it's very simple toothache, and kaboom. Heart problems and artery problems and arterial stuff. I mean, it can go on and on and on forever. So you got to kind of keep an eye open for it, especially nowadays. Doctors are, I mean, I just had a doctor a little while ago for something, and she wouldn't allow me to go to her office. We must do this on a Zoom.
Oh, God.
What kind of doctor is this? And now we'll get in touch with you by way of a patient portal. Well, I'm not very patient with the portal, and I just
no. I wouldn't either.
I'm going to find a different doctor.
Portal almost ended up in the pool.
Cindy, if you want to hang tight, we're going to, I'll bring you right back in. We're going to bring a couple more people in. You can talk to them, but thank you for coming on and,
Yeah. And I'm really, really sorry. And
thank you.
I kind of know how you feel a little bit, because I lost Brad about 8 years ago, and it took a couple of years. I mean, I can get through the day, the year, the September 13th, which was the day. I can never get past his birthday without breaking up like crazy. It happens, I mean, I took his ashes and buried him in the backyard, and every once in a while, I just called him.
We went to Colorado in 2019 before the pandemic, and he wanted to go to Caribou Ranch so bad. We made it there. We just didn't. I was like, let's walk through the gate. All we had to do was go underneath that big wood gate. That's all we had to do. But that road was so long, and that's what I thought of doing. Because I know, didn't you record an album at Caribou Ranch?
Yeah, we did. We did most of the basics at Caribou. I think I was having trouble singing.
Okay.
So, and Chris Bond was the producer of the record, and so I kind of said, I think I got one or two vocals out of Caribou, but I ended up doing them at Sound Labs in LA.
Okay, that's where I thought about doing his sessions.
I'm not good at altitude.
Cindy, thank you for coming on. We'll bring you back, and we got to get some more people in here, and thank you for coming on, and you have our deepest sympathies, and we appreciate it.
Cool.
All right. Well, listen, many other people in the band have joined. We got a couple more to bring on to you. This Keith Hallen was the guitar player. He was, almost 20 years, right, Bill, in Chicago?
I don't know. I think it was 20 years.
Yeah. So take a look. Keith Hallen, he's coming in here. All right, and then joining with Keith after Peter Cetera left, the lead tenor vocalist, bass player Jason Sheff was there for almost 30 years, and then Jeff Coffey came in, and he's in the Players along with Bill and Keith. Take a look, Jeff. All right, let's welcome
singer underneath those horn parts. I can hear. They're almost here. Hey, Jeff.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for coming on and celebrating Jamie with us. You know, a good friend, and actually Jamie is the reason you've done this show, which he should be apologizing to you for it, Jeff. But and that's how we met. And you know, you took good care of you and Keith at the Player show, and Keith Hallen. Keith, you look good.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
living the life.
Yeah.
How's it going, Bill and Tamara? How you doing?
What's happening,
Good.
kids?
We
We just did three Sun shows up in Northern California and drove back yesterday, and we're pretty much toast.
So
That long drive, the Highway 5 from San Francisco or from the Bay
it
Area.
was really like a week of, rehearsals, how rehearsals are.
Yeah.
And shows. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Are y'all playing this weekend or this week or sometime together?
Next week.
Next couple weeks, yeah.
Oh,
Next
cool.
weekend.
Yeah. We were going to play this week, but that gig got canceled. Oh, well.
Yeah, right. We had this cool private thing we were going to do, and but that didn't. That kind of.
We used to introduce ourselves as direct from a tour of one-night cancellations in the San Joaquin Valley. The Suns.
Right.
But
Not a big college town.
Awesome. Yeah, not a big college town. Right?
You canceled. You mean here at the hotel?
oh man,
Yeah.
well guys, thanks for coming on, man. You guys have interacted with Jamie over the years. What a loss. This guy is not only a super fan and collector of archives, but he really supported and he I know he loved you guys, Keith, Jeff, Bill. He was just I'm just stunned. I'm still in shock. I'm a little heartbroken. It's just
He's really a young. I didn't realize he was only 44.
yeah, 44. Yeah, I'm 41. So yeah, he's 44. Yeah,
I'm 32.
yeah, Bill.
Of a waist size.
What, dog years, Bill? I don't know. It's
You don't look a day over.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 31.
32 days out of jail. is probably-
oh man, but yeah. So any memories? Anything you could share, Keith, Jeff, about interactions with Jamie?
These cryptic, messages, and I could never figure out what he was talking about. And he made perfect sense most of the time, but then he wanted to tell me something, but he wasn't at liberty to say it. But he wanted to know about it.
Oh, wow.
Man, look at that.
Don't
picture.
tell me, something if you can't tell me.
Yeah. I was like, hey, listen, I got something very important, but I really can't tell you.
I
Jamie's
know.
got the dirt.
Okay.
Wow.
We'd end up talking anyway for a couple hours after that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Look at you, Keith, with your frosted tips. Me and Bill were talking about that earlier.
There's that blonde hair that I was going, who is this guy? He's the blonde hair.
Yeah. Well,
What happened to the blonde?
a little gray in the sideburns. So
Yeah.
here it comes. Oh, and just to clarify, it was actually almost 30 years. It was 27 years.
Oh yeah, that's it. I knew everybody was like almost at 30. Most people break after like that 30-year mark, like Bill and Jason. And
Jason went over. Jason was-
except Jeff, he didn't even wait.
Thanks
Jeff
for the
was
word
fed up
break.
within 3. What?
Pardon me?
I said, thanks for the word break.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes. That took me out of the game pretty much.
Yeah, man.
Sorry
yeah.
about my dog. He's having a
got-
fit outside the
I
door.
thought it was one. I kept looking around thinking it was one of ours.
I know. I'm looking around my house. My dogs are sleeping right by the
Rocky.
studio right here.
Everybody say hello to Rocky.
Hey, Rocky.
Rocky. Oh, there you go.
Aw.
He's just,
Rocky's
here's
our
one
old
good
guy.
eye.
Yeah.
This is his good side because he only
They
has
had
one eye.
to they had to take one of his eyes out, and I'm trying to teach him how to sing.
Mr.
Bring in
Bug.
Stevie to say hi to Rocky. This is Stevie Nicks right here.
I
Aw,
need my
who's that?
This is Stevie Nicks. My she's a Pomeranian Chihuahua.
Little sheep, like
So she barks like bow wow.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
But yeah, we just adopted a puppy, and we put a deposit on the dog. And then we got a phone call from the breeder saying that the dog they thought might be blind. Turns out that he is completely blind and has a grade 4 heart murmur.
Oh jeez.
That probably gonna have surgery on, but he's the sweetest little guy, and he's already learned the lay of the land. He can't see anything, so he bumps into things, but he's a cute little guy, and he gives my 2-year-old Cavapoo something to play with. So you know, we're having fun over here. I'm losing a lot of sleep with the puppy, but you know.
Yeah.
no kidding. I got up at 5:30 and this little thing's hollering down the the whole neighborhood.
We just got a new one.
louder than Bill.
We now have 3 dogs. One more. Oh, no more.
Bill almost ran away from home.
I almost ran away from home. Is that
So what? The dogs sleep with Tamara. What are you on the couch now, Bill, or what's going on?
well? They're small dogs.
We only have one really kind of trying to sleep on the bed, the little one. She's pretty still.
Yeah,
So she gets at the foot of the bed or snuggles up to Bill.
that's the Chloe. She's a daddy's girl.
The other one's still in his crate, and Rocky kind of
He
moves
just-
around.
he just-
Rocky moves around to the bathroom.
He just
floor.
ends up on the bathroom floor because it's cool on its stomach. Pretty much is how it works.
Yeah.
I found the same thing for myself over the years. Occasionally, I end up on my stomach in the bathroom just to cool off a little bit. Anyway,
So Jeff, you were a little late in the game. How did you end up meeting Jamie? Because I know Jamie was kind of like off Chicago for a while, and you kind of brought him back in. I remember he was saying that once you joined the band, he kind of like got interested again. Because I mean, you are an amazing tenor vocalist. So how did you end up meeting Jamie?
Well, it was online, as we all I think initially did, and it's just really sad when something like this happens, and so unexpectedly too, because but Jamie, I had come to find out years later how involved Jamie was with Chicago World. I mean,
Yeah.
loved that band since the Terry Kath days, and I know he was a huge fan of yours, Bill, and
Yeah.
and it's when I came in, he started reaching out, and just really nice dude. And then I slowly found out that how he just seems to be one of those kind of guys who loves music, and when he loves a band that much, like Chicago, he's like one of those guys who wants to get to know the guys in the band because he's appreciative of you playing that music, And that's how I took Jamie. It was just a guy that just wanted to get to know you. And when I got to know him, he was just a really cool, really nice guy, and he was extremely kind. He had a lot of really kind words to say about me when I came into the group. So
Yeah.
we stayed in touch, after I left the band, he stayed in, he and my wife communicated pretty regularly, they became buds, texting, and then we'd text every once in a while. And then when I was playing with, I think I was playing a show with Don Felder somewhere in Birmingham, and got Jamie and Amy into the show.
Yeah.
So that was cool to, talk to him face to face, and then meet Amy, and she was in the band program at the time. And we were talking. My son was in the band program at the time, the marching band, and I don't know if she's still playing music or not, but you know, I gave her some words of encouragement, and it was cool to have that little time with him after the show. So
yeah, I know Amy's mom said you were you know, very kind to Amy and Jamie and everybody, and yeah, you know, you're a good dude. I mean, you're kind to everybody. You took care of me at the player show. I mean, you're just a very down to earth, kind, talented musician. And I think that's why you know, your people enjoy you. I mean, you're not only talented, but you're a kind, down to earth person.
I've got you so fooled, man.
I know. There's no bodies.
Smoke and mirrors.
Right.
It's all smoke and mirrors, man.
I remember Jamie yelling at me. I said one time, because I remember mentioning when Keith Allen was on the show. Keith Allen did an arrangement. I said my favorite Christmas song ever was Bill singing "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." And Keith said, actually, I was supposed to sing it, but I came down with a cold and I couldn't. I was singing it bad. And he said, and then Bill said, I got this, and went in and did it in one take. And I said, God bless the virus that infected your throat, because Bill singing it is my favorite. So bad.
How lucky was I that they had a 251 sitting there on the mic stand. Telephone 251. Some of them are okay, but this one was I think it was a Westlake microphone. That thing, you can tell what you had for breakfast on your third birthday. You know what I mean? Beautiful microphone. You know.
I think the actual phrase that I heard through the talkback mic was, "Let me come out there and save you from yourself."
Oh man, what an asshole!
I mean, listen.
I walked in the control room and he sang it down once, and it was like, "Yep, that's it, we're done."
And my favorite Christmas song of all time, every holiday since I play it, and you know, Bill slayed it on the vocals, but I mean, it was to Keith's credit. A fucking great arrangement. I mean, that was an awesome arrangement you came up with for the song. Yeah, but
I remember Bruce Fairbairn one time asked me, he said, "How long does it take you to cut a song?" And I was just giving him shit. I just went, "How long's the song?" He just looked at me and said, I'm gonna test you on that one," and I actually pulled one off. I think I got handed Mr. That song. Whatever the hell the name of it was.
The big band album.
So yeah, don't get around much anymore. And I guess Robert had a good time with it. So Bruce had me singing. I just banged it off real quick. He says, "You're right. Nailed it in one. See ya." Go home, leave my studio. That, you know, that kind of thing.
That's a funny album. When we got to Russia, it's turned out they actually sold a lot of records there.
Yeah.
It was a big hit there. And
Giant hit
nobody
in
in Chicago was talking about it.
Nobody knew about it.
Nobody knew about it.
Bootlegged the shit out of that thing. We were in Russia, and they were saying, "You got to do songs from that." It was a big hit in Russia.
Now, which one was that? That was a big hit in Russia?
An album, yeah, whatever. It was Night and Day, I think it was called.
Oh, right? Yeah, Night and Day. Yeah, that was. I love that. In fact, I had I'm friends with the guy that they did.
It was on Giant Records. It was a little different group, but somebody sold something over there because it went through the roof in Russia. Nobody knew about it.
Yeah,
we didn't know about it. I don't think they still know about it, but somebody's got a pocket full of greenbacks behind that record. You know what I mean? Now, that's never happened before. Somebody's stealing? Nah. Couldn't be.
Geez, yeah. Real quick, Tristan Bowden, who was the drummer after Danny Seraphin for a while. Let me pull this up. He wanted to come on. He was really wanted to come on and support Jamie, but unfortunately, he already had previous engagement. He was going on a vacation with Mary, but he did send a statement, and I will go ahead and read that for you now, what Tris had to say. Let me pull this up. Tris said, "I will sorely miss Jamie's wit and humor. He was always so supportive of me and my career. I will always be grateful to him for that." And I think that's how a lot of the guys felt, because Jamie was very supportive of even after the rotating revolving door of members of Chicago. I mean, Jamie was very supportive of the solo careers going on and everything like that. So thank you for sending that, Tris. We appreciate it, and I hope you're enjoying your vacation. But that's from Tris in Bowden. But have you guys been in touch with Tris? I mean, he's like it's you, Keith, and Jeff, and then you get a Earth, Wind, and Fire drummer for the players. But I know Tris is kind of doing his own thing where he's at. Anybody been in touch with him lately?
I talk about once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See if he's got any new jokes. All the guys that used to call me with a joke once a week, they all passed away. Peter Welker's gone. I mean, all these really great guys, great musicians that are walking joke encyclopedias. I don't have any source of material anymore. I'm down to nothing.
Yeah.
Not good.
I will say one thing about Jamie. He was such a resource when he had the YouTube site up. If there was anything I wanted to find, like I know he had up there for a while. It was us at the Beacon Theater doing a band with Bobby Kimball sitting in, and man, you can't find it anymore. It's gone, and.
Yeah.
If I was like, what's the arrangement of this tune again? I'd go on his site, I'd look, and he'd have like 20 versions of it, and so he was a great
Chicago Kid YouTube.
Dude.
Was that the Chicago Kid YouTube page that he had?
Yeah. Chicago Kid 1969, and I was talking to somebody, I think it was Dwayne, and he said, what is going to happen to that archive collection of his? And I talked to Cindy, and she said she's got the hard drive, but she's got to figure out how to get into it. But I mean, he was a resource, had so many resources and so many archives and collections of just Chicago rarities and everything. And so, I mean, he was posting stuff like with Bill and Tamara on Alan Thicke show, Thick of the Night. He had stuff from that. I mean,
we call it Sick of the Hype. That's what it came down that way. Alan was a sweetie pie. I had a song that actually was a single of my solo album right before I joined Chicago called Sarah. And
I love that song.
I had the melodies kind of locked in. I had the chord changes pretty locked in until Foster kind of shook them up a little bit. But I just was hitting the wall with lyrics. It was not working. I couldn't come up with anything. And we handed a cassette. How about this for far back there? We handed a cassette to Alan, and he came walking back in 2-3 days later. He said, how about this? And it was the song Sarah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Alan, pretty good writer, pretty good songwriter, good tunesmith with words.
And, the funny thing is Chicago filmed a special in Atlantic City recently, and I haven't seen Chicago live since Bill left. And Jamie sent me a ticket. He said, it's right there. You got to go to this taping. They're bringing special guests. And Alan's son, Robin Thicke, was performing with him, and like many other artists. But that's
one of the strongest falsettos in the business, right there. Yeah. I know Robin since he was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Since he was just a kid. I haven't seen him since then, but there you go. What a great singer. Really good singer.
Yeah.
Well, with his mom, Gloria Loring, she was a monstrous singer also. Gloria was great. And probably still kicking ass. She's a really good singer. So that, Robin came from a very musical family. No question about it.
Yeah.
I learned something the other day too about Robin. Alan. Apparently, when Shania Twain first moved to LA, she stayed at Alan Thicke's house for a couple weeks. He put her up while she was recording her demos to try to get something going with her career when she came down from Canada. Robin Thicke mentioned it on what show was it? I can't remember, but yeah, apparently he gave her room and board while she was establishing herself.
Alan discovered a lot of really cool people. Gary Cole, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
Alan discovered Leonardo. He had him on his.
Oh yeah, he was the Growing Pains. Yeah.
He was like 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
The guy's been a great actor since he was probably born. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably came out with a script in his hand. You know,
Yeah.
as he is. You know.
Brandy's in the chat. She said, "Hi, everyone. Watching this without sending smart ass comments to Jamie is weird. Man, he has missed." Yeah, Jamie would be calling me after this show and telling me everything I did wrong. Usually, after this, but it will be weird.
Like the one I'm telling you now, you're wearing the wrong color Speedos for this show.
If you didn't know, before we were on air, I showed Bill. You know, I was trying to impress him, but
You're not wearing.
Day-Glo ain't working, Rob. You gotta get back to the polka dots.
Oh man! But listen, we're gonna bring on one more guest. He's not gonna be on video with us, but he'll be with us through the phone. Before Keith joined the band, he replaced this gentleman. He was the lead guitarist for Chicago for many years. I think close to 10 years. Take a look, and we will watch a clip of Dwayne Bailey. He's coming on. Ah, man. Yeah, Dwayne, man, those solos slayed me when I was a kid. Dwayne, are you with us?
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Dwayne. You're live with Bill Champlin, of course, Keith Allen, and Jeff Coffey.
There they are. Happy birthday, Billy.
Oh shit, I forgot. No, I'm trying to forget. How you doing, Dwayne? What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm just hanging in there.
What's happening in the clean world?
I was writing a few things down so I could remember about Jamie, and Jamie and I had a really volatile friendship, more than I think a lot of the other guys in the band that he dealt with. And because he was born the same year as my daughter, so I was kind of like a tormented father to him in some ways, father figure.
Yeah.
In a dress.
Yeah, I mean, it's because Dwayne and I had just talked, and it was good to patch things up with Dwayne. Dwayne and Jamie and I had a love-hate relationship. We loved him, and Dwayne hated us. No, I'm kidding. But we
went through some up and down stuff for many years.
Yeah, but
and it was because it was a very passionate. We were all very passionate about collecting Chicago stuff, and especially the older original CTA stuff. And I always tell people that I was with the band for a decade, but yet I learned more about them after I got out of the band, especially their early years, how they started when they lived at the Holly House, and when they left Chicago and moved to Hollywood, and Gercio put him up in that house. And that was my favorite period of collecting, because it was so hard to find, recordings of that stuff. And of course, Jamie was the one that, over any of the other collectors around the world, that found that stuff. And so it got very competitive. It got kind of weird, and it got, and Jamie was like the ultimate private eye. He would, you didn't want to get in a battle with him, because, he would post a picture of you picking your nose in your backyard. that no one else had
Yeah.
or something. And he would, there was a lot of retaliation and a lot of psychological warfare going on.
Well,
but at
I
the
mean,
same time,
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the last message Jamie had sent to me before he passed was that he had been speaking with you, Dwayne, and he wanted me and you to make up. And I was working, and that's why I thought he wasn't returning my text. I said maybe he thought I was blowing him off about Dwayne Bailey, but it turns out that he was already gone. But and that's how you and I connected again. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Jamie, you and Jamie loved you, and I told you I was a fan. Jamie is a fan. I mean, just the energy you brought to the band, we loved and talked about it. And you and Keith Allen were Jamie and I's era of Chicago. The Terry Kath era we weren't alive for. Of course, we appreciate that and listen to it like you would. But when we saw Chicago, it was you or Keith Allen. So I mean, it was we were fans, and I'm glad that you guys patched things up before he passed. And
Oh yeah, we
that you and I are
always patch
speaking.
stuff up. Yeah, he was good with that. He was, like I said, it was an up and down thing all the time, and then a few years would go by and there wouldn't be any contact. But there was a period back when I had moved to Las Vegas with Rona, and it was 2007 to 2008 when Jason had discovered Ustream.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody remembers Ustream.
I do. Yeah, Jamie had a show.
Jason
had
a show. Lauren Sheff had a show. Jamie had a show. I think just Jackie, chick.
Oh yeah,
big Jason fan. She had a show. Everybody and their mother ended up having a Ustream show. And did Keith have a Ustream show?
No, I was just on Jason's Ustream all the time.
Yeah.
He'd put it in his pocket on stage and, go out and get everybody. So, yeah. You had to be careful, though. I think it was Periscope, though. You'd be on the bus or you'd be having a private conversation. All of a sudden, Jason would just go and stick the phone right in your face. And it'd be like, man, get that thing. I didn't know you were sneaking up on me.
Yeah, while you're talking about plans to rob the bank tomorrow, right?
Now, Keith, you were Dwayne's replacement. Have you guys met? You and Dwayne? How do you guys like?
We did meet, and we met at a gig with Steve Lukather and Mike Landau at a place in Reseda called The Rock. And it was a little bar, and I didn't know, I had never seen Keith in person, but he was, everybody's taller than me, but he was a tall dude. He almost looked like he was taller than Jason, but Jason and Keith were both there.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason was always like the little puppy, real positive and playful, and I was in a bar, so I was drinking alcohol, and
I tend to do that there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't loaded, but I was feeling fearless and bold, and I can be a dick sometimes.
No kidding.
Believe it or not. But anyway, our heroes are there playing. There's Landau and Luke, and it's a little bar. They're on this tiny little stage. I think Jason got up and played with them too. But anyway, Jason, very, very playful. He goes, "Hey man, I want to introduce you to Keith." And I was the open wounds were like just raw.
Yeah.
And I was not prepared for that moment at all.
Yeah.
And Keith walked up to me, or not, Keith didn't walk up, but Jason brought Keith over to me.
Yeah.
And we're all standing around by the bar. and Jason goes, Dwayne, this is Keith Howland. And it was kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
it was like, great.
Well, I mean, that's how you guys remember.
You're
I
like,
mean, well, Bill,
yay, Jason.
Bill Champlin hand delivered Chicago, his replacement. So I mean, it's you know, it's weird the way
I know.
they're there, but I
But
mean,
anyway,
yeah.
so Jason goes, this is Keith, Dwayne. And we shook hands, and Keith goes, I love your playing, man.
Yeah.
And I swear, this is what I went, bullshit. I went, Hank told me what you told me about my playing. And you know, I was just ready to go for the throat. You know, it was just, I was not a good, I mean, time, as they say, timing is everything. It was not a good time.
Well, hold on.
For that meeting to happen at that moment.
Yeah. Well, Keith is interjecting. What's your memory of that?
Later, I wrote Keith, and I apologized about that night.
Yeah.
And I had, you know, the weird blood had gone into the water had gone into the bridge, and I had really studied his videos and his playing, and I wrote him and I apologized to him, and I told him how much I loved his playing, and that to please forgive me for that night, because it was just bad timing for Jason to introduce me to Keith at that moment. And there's Luke at their Landau, and they're shredding, and I'm just, you know, it's just not.
Yeah,
not a
there's
good
still
time.
overword. Keith, go ahead. Yeah, I saw you. You had something to say. What was your memory of that night?
Well, first of all, my memory of that night is that I was going to recount that very thing to Dwayne. I remember it very well as well.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Dwayne, or was like Lukather playing through like a twin reverb or something? He just plugged into like
through what?
Yeah, it was like it was bizarre. It was like he kind of sat in. It was Landau's gig, I think, if I remember correctly. But
I don't really remember what that gig was. They were definitely just kind of jamming it. I don't think it was I had seen I'd been to a lot of Raging Honky gigs around that time.
Sure.
Like not because this was 1995, and it was right when you got with the band, and that's what I mean. The wounds were still very raw, and I was just, you know, I was in a very weird place, a weird headspace, and emotional, and just the whole bit.
I totally got it though, and you know, the first thing that went through my mind when I saw you there was that we were obviously kindred spirits because we loved Landau and Luke. I was like, Dwayne's here. He loves these guys. I love these guys. So that's cool. And then when I met you, I think you said, I think the exact words were, I ain't into bullshit, man.
Right.
But you know what?
And like being a dick, you know, is being a dick.
But you know, I was, I totally got it though, man. You know, you know,
after the wounds kind of healed up and things were mellow and normal again, you know, it's when I was able to reach out to you and apologize and, you know, and just go, I'm really sorry that guy you met that night is not how I really feel, you know. It was just, the things were, I mean, nerves were raw, and a weird state of, you know, having seen you at another time and place, it would have been totally different. Just kind of like where we are now, of just being able to hang. And but what were you saying? Asking about Lukather's, the amp he was playing through?
I swear, I mean, I know this is kind of getting off tangent, but I feel like Luke sat in and there was like a twin reverb on stage, and I think he just had like an overdrive pedal and a twin, because what I remember was I'd never heard Luke with so little effects on his guitar, but actually the clarity made it even more
you hear the notes
glaring, that he was like absolutely just, it didn't matter what he was playing through, he still sounded like Lukather, you know, just
Yeah.
He was at that,
it was-
that
it was-
era. He was like, he sounded like two helicopters in a blender or something, with all the delays and the reverb.
Do you remember who was on drums that night? I mean, like I said, I don't think it was a Raging Honkies. It was the Honkies gig. It would have been Abe LaBoyle Jr. on drums, and it would have been Teddy
Carlos
Render on
Vega.
bass.
I think it might have been Carlos Vega.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember the drummer. It was such a small bar, and they were so crammed up there on stage. And I think
It was
Jason got
cool.
up and played.
Now,
Yeah, it was very
Dwayne,
cool thing.
I know you've always been very open and honest about everything Chicago. Once they go, I know once Bill left the band, you had an opinion about that. They lost a legend when Bill Champlin was gone. But what were your thoughts? Have you met Jeff Coffey? What did you think of his tenor in Chicago? Jeff is here with us. I would love to hear your thoughts on Jeff.
I haven't met Jeff yet, but I watch all the videos of all the guys that are in the band, especially even after Jeff left, when they were hiring a new guy about once every other month.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of videos to watch and a lot of Googling to see who's this guy, who's that guy. But and Jeff was an easy one because he has that voice that I would love to sing with, and because we live in that tenor range of
Yeah, I mean,
singing
if I recall correctly, when you were in the band, you were doing the tenor part on "I'm a Man," right?
on I'm a Man.
Yeah,
Dwayne was singing pretty much all the high parts.
yeah.
I was going to mention that. I mean, he's obviously known as one of the better guitar players on the earth.
Yes.
But I've always had him down as one of the better singers on the earth. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the band, Private Parts, the band that Dwayne had, some of the material he did and the singing he did was fucking off the chain. Beautiful singer. And I always thought, as a matter of fact, Get On This on the Sisyphus album was actually Dwayne singing, not Jason.
Yeah, I know. And they
Right.
cut that when they re-released it. That was the one they cut. I don't know if that was like a
They did.
yeah.
They'll do it.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah.
you were asking about Jeff.
When we did the Nashville
I-
album,
Hold on.
I knew right away. I said, "Man, this is going to be great until the experts get their hands on it."
Yeah.
Then they had three ballads in the same key with breakdown choruses, and some expert puts them 1, 2, and 3 on the
Right.
Like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, that was very weird.
Oh, the radio people will like it. So what is you got 3 songs, same key,
Yeah.
and which is not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. Put them away from each other so they don't just go right into. It ends up sounding like one song.
Yeah.
And I was going, hey, this record's going to actually be pretty good until the experts get their hands on it, and then the experts got their hands on it and fucked it up.
But you were asking about Jeff, and I haven't met Jeff, but I'm a big fan,
They said it
and
was a problem.
and he's just his voice is it's just something I relate to so well because he plus he hits the notes without any without sweating, without grimacing, without it's just effortless and in full voice too, and that's a rare gift, and he could so when he stepped in to take that gig, I really thought that Keith and Jeff and Lou, I thought they were all going to be there for like another decade or two.
Yeah.
I was completely shocked when they all left. And Lou, I haven't heard anything out of after he left or why he left or anything. But Keith and Jeff have this great energy, and I always check out their videos for the players with Bill. And Bill's playing a lot more guitar with the players, and they have a great horn section, and I always love checking it out. But never met Jeff, and I've seen all the photos where now he's playing with Danny's band, and
Oh, yeah.
I've seen pictures of him with Satara. I've seen him sing with Jason. So I'm always blowing Jeff's horn for how he gets along with everybody, and he's able to navigate through all the different, going from this band to that band, and hitting all the Satara notes and everything, which they do.
Yeah. Jeff, are you still with us?
And he's a wonderful dancer.
He's a dancer. Jeff, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. My screen's frozen a little bit, so
Yeah, you're frozen.
You are frozen.
Yeah, I don't.
I like that shirt, man.
The frozen man.
I just wanted to make sure I was still with you guys. I heard
Yeah.
Dwayne. I got him on the phone, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool that all these different eras of different members of Chicago can come together, and it's so cool, and everybody had their own part and contribution to the band, whether the band wants to acknowledge it or not. The fans know, and Jamie was one of those fans that really honored all the different legacies of the band, and because Chicago is timeless over the years, but everybody had their era, and my era was a little different than someone that grew up in the 70s.
For sure.
Well, listen, man, we're all obviously miss Jamie a lot. I mean, he was a pretty regular thing in all of our lives, and I'm really sorry. He just too young to pass away like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like who was it? Cindy that was on earlier? A lot of beer, a lot of cigarettes. I mean, I know that. I drank a lot of beer and smoked a lot of cigarettes. I quit a little earlier than he did. So it's like one of those. Anyway, listen, guys, I love you all. Dwayne, nice to hear your voice.
You too, Billy. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks, bud. I'll see you guys later. Be good, huh?
All right. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Also, I just wanted to mention that Jeff's my brother from a broken rubber.
Oh
That caught your ass by surprise one night.
man, he said that in the middle of a gig one time, and the whole place is rolling, and that came out like, oh shit, that was hilarious. That was so fun.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Be good.
All right. Thanks,
Billy.
Bill. We appreciate you. Get the new CWF album too. Yeah. Check it out.
Should be happening pretty quick. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Bill Champlin.
And Jamie was a really good piano player too.
Yeah.
He did a video of him doing some I don't know if it was Color My World or maybe it was
It's just me and you. We have taken over the show now.
It is now the Jeff and Keith show.
Yeah, he was a musician himself, for sure.
There's Rob. There's the host. He's back.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Dwayne. We got disconnected for a little bit. I had to put my video back on when Bill left, but sorry.
Is Dwayne still with us?
Yeah, Dwayne is Dwayne, I have him on the telephone, so he's not going anywhere. He doesn't he's not a part of all this video and audio stuff.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Dwayne for singing all those super high parts in full voice and the background vocals on the gig. When I auditioned for the gig, they asked me to sing his parts. So of course I falsettoed everything. I was up there going, and those guys, they didn't have any real concept of what I was doing. They knew the note was there. And so when Jason got really sick and he lost his voice, they came to me and said, you're going to sing all of Jason's songs tonight. And, I grabbed my nuts and I went out on stage and I did the best I could. And I sang them for a while, but man, I'm a baritone, you know, I'm not a tenor like Dwayne or Jeff. And,
Yeah.
you know, after a while, they took them all back from me. And so thank you for that, Dwayne. And
Yeah, you really gave him a chance. Yeah, because I saw at the Players show. It's weird because when I used to go and see Chicago, they would have you singing like Old Days and If You Leave Me Now, Keith. And then I went and saw you with the Players, and then you're doing Beginnings, and I'm like, wow, this is a change of pace. But you said, really, these guys they wanted me to replace Dwayne and sing this high tenor notes. I'm more of a baritone.
Huh.
Yep.
One thing Jamie said a lot to us, you know, when we were texting and, you know, back and forth to me and my wife and stuff, it is, you know, obviously a huge fan of Bill's for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And then when I left the group, he was like, man, we got to get Jeff and Bill together. We got to get Jeff and Bill together. And now I really wish that he had had the opportunity to see the Players, because I think he would have enjoyed the show, you know. I wish we could have had some kind of a gig that was somewhere close to where he lived, because I think he really would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, he did that. I remember at the time, the radio show, something happened and I wasn't working my other job. And I said, the Players are coming. And Jeff was kind enough to get me a ticket in there. He said, and I remember Jamie saying, thank God, because I would have had to, there's no way you could have missed that show. I would have paid for you to, you know, go in and see that before I let you miss out on it. But, you know, Jeff, you know, I mean, I don't know. I got to talk to Holly, his wife, to see if he has any faults, because the guy seems like a
you know, to be completely honest with you, man, they talked quite regularly, just like just an arbitrary text or a feed, and they would talk about Chicago. They would talk about music. They kind of became buds, you know, like pen pals, if you will. And then I would get various texts from him here and there. But you know, he was just a cool dude. He was a really, really nice guy who absolutely loved music and absolutely loved Chicago. And you could tell it when you talk to him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he would tell you, you know, I would say, you know, if he would say, I could name, I say, well, gosh, when's the last time, you know, Bill Champlin and Jason Sheff sang How We're Having to Break? He would tell me the date, the arena, you know, of the last time. I mean, the guy knew his stuff. He knew everything. And, you know, he was, and Dwayne, you know how passionate he was.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's just, it's a sad thing when we lose someone so young. I mean, you never expect it, but it goes to show you. I mean, life is very short. We never know how much time we have, and we got to make the best of what we're working with, because you know.
You know, I have a tape of Jamie that I made when he had his Ustream show, when I had moved to Vegas in 2007. And I moved there for a year, and like I said, you know, everybody and their mother had a Ustream show. Jason started the whole thing. Jason started when he started up his P90X workout stuff, and he was
I forgot Jason did that P90X. Gosh, man,
he was live streaming.
Yeah.
You know, he was streaming his life. You know, and there was one time when Jason streamed with Jamie, and they were at Starbucks. And they met up, and then Jason would stream from the gym, from his bathroom, trimming his nose hairs. And then Lauren got into it too. Lauren started Ustreaming a lot. And then Jamie put on his show, and Jamie took it very seriously. You know, he always had rarities to show, or to that he could hype for, to, you know, come to the show, and he took it pretty seriously, even though I think he was doing the beer thing, so because he would get after a few beers, he would get very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
And
Last
let us
time I
fly.
talked to him, he was pretty pickled up. So,
Well, I made a tape of Jamie from one of his. I taped one of his Ustream shows. I taped the audio of it, and this was after the show. His show was over, and Rona and I stayed on with him, and I don't remember who else was there. But every Ustream video show that all those guys would do, they came with a chat room, just like your YouTube thing is doing right now,
yeah,
where people can chat as they watch the video.
yeah.
And so, anyway, so after he shut his thing down, he stayed filming, and he started going off about the fan club, about the Chicago fan club at that time in 2007.
Uh-huh.
And I taped it all.
Oh, jeez.
And it was brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Brutal.
I remember some brutal videos about me. I remember I was very angry when Bill was fired from Chicago, and I remember going on air and doing some angry rants, and that got recorded and sent out. And it wasn't really a good look on me, but I was, I was very upset that that Bill wasn't with the band anymore. But
right.
Yeah, I mean,
and the internet, when you let it fly like that, it has a way of coming back to haunt you.
Of course. Of course. It's not like, back in the day, you could rant, you could do that, but now everything's recorded. I mean, it's, I see like these videos where teachers at school are getting videotaped. And I'm like, God, my teachers treated me way worse than that. Just nobody was filming it all the time. But it's,
Well, I was thinking of sending you this recording that I made, this little MP3 that I made of Jamie's rant, his Chicago fan club rant. And the next year, after Ron and I lived in Vegas for a year, we moved back to LA, and I took the tapes and I made a little song out of Jamie's rants, and I put Brahms' Lullaby behind it. So I made sure the music was very peaceful and quiet and tranquil, and then on top of that, you had Jamie going, "Oh, that fuck," and
yeah.
It was brutal, and he was going off about everybody, and and now I'm happy I didn't send it to play it over, because it was just.
Yeah,
it was just too raw, and too real, and would hurt a lot of feelings of people in that fan world. But and anybody who saw those shows of his, if you knew Jamie, you knew he could be very brutal and brutally honest, and he didn't hold back.
Yeah,
and that was just his way.
I mean, I think I think I said it earlier in the show, like it's going to be weird not getting a call from Jamie in the middle of the night. Anytime I had any like Chicago related guest, I'd see the phone ringing at 2-3 in the morning, and I'd answer half asleep. I'd be like, "Hello," you're like, "Can you please stop kissing Bill Champlin's ass?"
So Jamie had started going to see Leonard and Friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I lost you, but yeah. That was his last show. I mean, I think Cindy said that he had passed not long after that concert.
Wow.
But you know, it's just insane. But
did he ever see the Players live?
No, he didn't. You said he wasn't able to come, right, Jeff? Keith?
Well, yeah, it would have been great to be able to have a show that was near him so he could come see it. But I wish he had a chance to see that. But
yeah, I mean, Jeff took care of us. We drove a couple hours, me and my cousin Amy, who does some production work on this show. We went down and drove a couple hours to see it. And Jeff and Keith took really good care of us. And and I think I even messaged it was one of the best concerts that I've seen. I mean, just seeing Bill again, and I mean, he still sounds great. Keith still slaying on the guitar, and hearing Bill and Jeff doing stuff like Hard Habit and their vocals together was just amazing. It was amazing. In fact, I think maybe if the stars align right, maybe Dwayne should come on, and Keith and Dwayne do some dueling guitar solos. I would be down for that. But
that's a little frightening.
I'll do a lot of tapping.
I'm sorry, hold on. Keith said something. I got cut off. What'd you say, Keith?
I said that's a little frightening to me.
That's frightening to you.
Yeah. I was actually just having that conversation earlier.
Eddie Van Halen tapping technique.
He's going to do the chopping technique. Really quickly, but before we got, Lauren Sheff was supposed to come, but I don't see him. But I know that we all know Jamie's daughter, Amy, who he loved. He took to all the shows with him. Put up a picture right now. There you go. And the mother of his daughter was on earlier, and I know she wanted to thank you guys for coming on. And there wasn't really a funeral or service for Jamie, so this is it. His friends and family and all his online pals are here tonight. But yeah, Cindy, you could say a few words. I know you wanted to say wanted to thank Jeff and Dwayne and Keith.
I know, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rob, but I know Jamie would absolutely love this. This would probably be on YouTube in our TV in our living room. This really means a lot to him.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you for all the memories that you have of him. I said it earlier when Bill Champlin was on. We met 24 years ago because of the music of Chicago. This would mean the world to him. And
he deserves it. He brought a lot of joy to Chicago fans and Chicago collectors. Like the most hardcore collectors, Jamie would make them happy because he'd find stuff that they couldn't even find.
Yeah,
I know.
Like he's the one that threw a guy named Nicky Sachs.
Nicky Sachs, yes, I remember Nicky Sachs.
Yeah,
That's who it is.
Seraphim, and he's from Chicago. He he was there. He tamed them before they got a record deal before they left Chicago. Hollywood, when they played Barnaby's, and he taped it all. He had like 300 tapes or something, and he shared a few with Jamie, and told Jamie not to share them.
Yeah,
and of course, thankfully, Jamie did share. He didn't listen.
He did.
And those were from 1968. Before they left Chicago, when they were at Barnaby's, they moved to Hollywood. Mickey Sachs taped them at the Itchy Foot Moose, this club that they played, which was down by USC, and those were extremely rare. And without Jamie, none of us would have heard those tapes. And this was Chicago, doing early originals that ended up on the CTA album, on Chicago 2. Loneliness is Just a Word, I think, ended up on Chicago 3? But and Mississippi Delta City Blues, they were doing all that stuff. And that ended up like on the 10th album or something, So Jamie brought a lot of that stuff to light. And without him, and that was audio. Jamie brought a ton of rare video.
There's cassettes in my kitchen next to our boombox of Chicago concerts in my kitchen, and there's stuff all over the place. It's just unbelievable. There's stuff in our back building of Rubbermaid totes full of Chicago stuff. Full of it.
Well,
Did
Dwayne,
Jamie keep a piano did Jamie keep a piano in your house?
Yes,
Did
there's
he
several.
play often?
Yes,
Did he play
piano, guitar. He taught himself how to play a bass. So yes, he explained to me, once you
I
know
always
one
thought
instrument, it's easy to play another one. I can't play an instrument, but I love music, just like Jamie did.
gotten Jamie up on stage to play a song with Chicago. I think that would have blown Jamie's head off.
oh, of
It would
course.
have. It would have.
Yeah, I've already been working since we talked on the phone privately, Dwayne, and he said, what's going to happen to his archives? I checked with Cindy. She does have access to the hard drive and archive. So we're working on getting that restored so it doesn't just, disappear into thin air. But
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a gold mine.
Yeah, Cindy,
Mhm.
anything you want to say before we let you go with Keith or Jeff or Dwayne?
I just wanted to say thank you. It would mean, it means a lot. It would mean the world to him what everybody has said to him. I know it would. Like I said, if he was here and you were all on, he'd be all over this.
Oh,
You know, if it wasn't
That's
about
what I
him.
said. It's going to be very weird not to get that call
I
in the
know.
middle of the night.
I
And you know
know.
what? I didn't kiss Bill Champlin's ass too much tonight, but I don't know if he would appreciate that or not appreciate it. But he would always get
Jamie-
annoyed that I acted like a little girl around Bill Champlin. So
Jamie definitely lived the rock star hours, I'll tell you that. Up in the middle of the night, all night long, and then he'd go to sleep around 7-8 o'clock in the morning. So that was very much Jamie's life. Up all night and on the phone with somebody, either Rob, like Dwayne said, I remember Nikki Sachs very well. I've talked to Mickey Sachs.
Yeah.
So and I think there was also a Nick Maroney. But he adored Keith. He loved Jeff. I remember meeting Jeff back in probably 2019 or 2018 in Oxford when you were with Don Felder. And I met Keith in the airport in New Orleans.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That picture that Rob put up, that's Jamie and I with you in the airport in New Orleans in 2000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who was a 12-year-old standing in between you two?
Oh, it's you, Keith. You're the 12-year-old.
I
remember the job I had. I showed this customer, the picture of you, and I said, "You look like this guy." He says, "No, that guy is better looking than me, and he's skinny."
Well,
he was a dentist. So there's a dentist on Long Island that looks like you.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of doppelgangers out there, but yeah, Jamie was always a real straight shooter, which I really appreciated, and he was pretty much spot on everything.
Yes.
What you see was what you got, but it was honest, and it was pretty.
He was brutally honest.
Yeah.
He had no filter. Jamie had no filter.
He had no filter.
No.
A lot of Chicago fans out there who are going to miss seeing him online and chatting and
I know.
Yeah, he was the thing with Jamie. He was very generous with his knowledge and his archives of Chicago. He was willing to share, and people knew that they could. And and that's how I started this show. Probably in 2008. The word podcast didn't even exist, and and that's how I met Jamie, and he just became a part of the show. And anytime there was a Chicago related guest, he was involved, and was orchestrating a lot of it. And I would have never met Jeff. I mean, once Bill left, we all know we don't have to constantly go over my man crush with Bill Champlin, but Bill left the band. I hadn't seen him, and Bill reached out, not Bill, Jamie reached out to me and was like, "Rob, this guy Jeff Coffey is amazing. It's worth seeing Chicago again. I mean, he's fucking fantastic." And I watched the videos, and I said, "Wow, this guy is great. I would see Chicago with this guy." But then you were gone that quick, Jeff. So. It was before I could see it. But I'm glad I got to see you with the players because, you guys were amazing. And then seeing you with Bill, I'd rather watch you sing with Bill Champlin than Lou Pardini. That's my personal preference. Nothing Pardini, but
It's funny. It's funny. I tell people the story. Like shortly after I left the band, I went to go see Peter Cetera live.
yeah.
Buddy of mine, Chris Rodriguez, playing guitar with him, got us into the show and got us back to meet him. And I had never seen him live before. And so it was funny because when we went back there, the first thing Peter said to me, "Boy, it didn't take you long." I said, no, it didn't.
Yeah. Jeff smelled the bullshit right away. These other guys like Keith and Bill spent 30 years being miserable.
Yeah. Well.
Nah, but I mean, it's you guys have had an amazing career, and I know, I don't know what all went on behind the scenes, but Bill had brought many years of joy to me. So did you, Keith, Dwayne. I mean, just amazing. I mean, I'm glad that. I'm a huge. I never admitted this before, but I'm a huge fan of Dwayne Bailey because me and him never really got along before for some reason. But I am a huge fan of Dwayne Bailey and Keith Allen, but they have totally different styles. But it's just I'm glad that this happened. Jamie's last text message to me was trying to get me and Dwayne Bailey to make up, and he got his goal.
It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard to do. It wasn't that all. We went through all that over all that stuff from a decade ago.
Yeah.
When you had asked me to do an interview.
Yeah.
And I would commit it to some other interview, and then things went left.
Yeah.
And it was just not a big enough deal to hold any kind of grudge for any amount of long time. And so it was very easy to kiss and make up on that one.
Yeah.
I have a question for Keith and Jeff.
Okay.
When you one of the best things that ever happened was when you guys did Chicago 2 with band. And did that come out on CD and video or on DVD?
Yeah,
I
believe so. Although, didn't they?
It was officially released, either Rhino or whatever, but was it released on CD and DVD?
I think so. Yeah.
So, yeah. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just one of the best things that band ever did, was recreating that album with Jeff and Keith and the band, because they were able to do it with especially those two guys being able to recreate. Keith could recreate cast parts, and Jeff could recreate Peter's stuff, and the horns sounded great, and then they did the whole freaking album, as far as I know, right? I mean, were there some tunes you left out of that thing?
Only just the little couple of movements, I think, in It Better End Soon, like the little flute breakdown, quiet,
right,
and orchestral stuff. But
you did most of it though, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
that was just amazing.
Now I sound like one of them. I gotta tell you, Dwayne. Playing like It Better End Soon and Moving In and those tunes, that was like such a breath of fresh air after 25 years of the same set list,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it's just the best album. I mean, it's one of my, if not my favorite Chicago album. Is 2.
Mine too. And I remember hearing that they were going to do it. And I remember Always in the Country was my favorite song from Chicago too. And I'm like,
oh man.
And I knew that Bill always sang Terry's parts. And I'm like, God, that would be awesome if they did that. And I could hear Bill sing it. And then when they finally got around to putting in the set list, Bill was gone. So it was,
Lou and Jeff and Robert. I mean,
Yeah.
They had the vocals down. Keith always had the guitar down,
Yeah.
and that was quite a ballsy undertaking, and they did it. And that
And-
was, to me, a big shining moment with that band. Was
Yeah, and
redoing Choose.
going back to Jamie, I mean, I remember when Jamie linked up me and Jeff Coffey, and I had Jeff booked on the show. Jamie mailed me a DVD of the greatest hits concert they did and the Chicago 2. So he said, Rob, you haven't seen Chicago since Bill left. You got to watch this before you interview Jeff Coffey. So I watched it, and I watched them perform the whole Chicago 2 album, and then the little greatest hits package on there too. And I was impressed. I really was. I mean, Jeff is, I can't say enough good things about Jeff. I mean, not only as a person, but as an entertainer.
Oh man, thank you, man. That's funny you say that he bought you that, because he did the same thing for us.
Yeah.
We did the filming, and then I left not too short after, and I wasn't going to buy it, and he bought it and sent it to me.
Yeah, he did the same with me. Yeah, he was.
Jamie sent it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Jamie,
that's
Jamie
that's the kind of guy Jamie is.
Was so generous.
Jamie,
one time
I think he probably knew that I wasn't going to buy it.
Now, I got a question for you, Jeff. Were you on the tour that we did? Was it opening for REO?
Nope, that was 2018. And you guys did it. You guys inserted the whole thing into the middle of the set on the summer tour. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dwayne, I would say the ballsiest thing the band ever did was to recreate Chicago 2 when Jeff was in the band. And the other ballsy thing that they did was to put the entire Chicago 2 in front of a set of greatest hits, and then an intermission, and then REO Speedwagon, or no, REO opened the show. That's right.
Yeah.
So REO would play an hour of nothing but hit songs, and then we would come out, and people were like, "What is this music they're playing? Is this new music? Is it?" So that was
very ballsy.
That was weird, man, because people were looking at us.
I remember that. I remember kind of thinking, are they going to pull this off?
Not really.
That was a big chunk of time to put that in front of people who were there to hear Saturday in the Park,
Yes.
And all the hits.
Yep.
And there's a lot of challenging stuff on 2 that's not only challenging to play, but challenging to listen to, and especially live in a party situation. There's a lot of musician kind of stuff going on there that I don't know how that would have gone over, because I never played it with them, and I did play the ballet with Chicago, and even that got very involved. That where you could maybe lose some fans to go grab a beer or hit the bathroom, but to do the whole album, and then that's right, you did 2, and then you did another set of the usual hits, and then that was on with REO.
Yeah, and REO would open the show. So after
did you do it for a whole tour? Did it last? Did they get rid of it after a while?
Well, the irony of it for me was, for years I was saying to the guys, can we please put one cool album cut in the show? Maybe like rotate one cool album cut, know? And the guys were like, oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that. We got to stick to the story. The people came to hear the hits. Yeah. Then all of a sudden we're doing the entire Chicago 2, and I'm just throwing my hands up going, well, okay, there you go, right? Be careful what you wish for.
By the way, one of the first songs, which I got to thank not only Cindy here in the that's with us, but Cindy Potts Doyle from Arizona. Right before Jamie passed, she sent him a brand new Yamaha keyboard, and they.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're sending that to me because I play, and I'll be getting it, and I'll be setting it up here in the studio, and I'm very appreciative of it. But one of the first songs I've ever I learned
an acoustic piano or an electric piano?
It's an electric. It's a Yamaha, electric keyboard.
Jamie could play, man.
Yeah.
Jamie was Jamie could have done a lot of things.
Yeah.
Jamie was a very talented kid. I think he could have acted.
Yeah.
He could have been a male model if we would have cleaned him up. And I swear, he was a good-looking kid.
Yeah, he had those bright blue eyes. Yeah,
he was made for showbiz, man.
He definitely was.
I'm amazed that Lamb didn't get him up on stage and at least play one song with Chicago. That would have just.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing again with the keyboard in honor of Jamie. But I remember one of the first songs I learned on piano was "Where Do We Go From Here?" And man, Jeff, you nailed it. And the Chicago too, set list you did. It was
that album was when they said we were going to do that pro shoot on with that, and that whole album. Diving into that album was like really cool because I never really considered Cetera like one of those bass guys, because when I grew at my age, I was Chicago in the 80s it was mostly keyboard. It was
it was very digital in the 80s.
But man, diving into that record, Cetera was grooving his ass off. He and Danny were like, it was a blast.
That was quite a project to walk into, man. When you first joined the band and they throw you Chicago too, that was a hell of a way to join the band.
Yeah. That was a deep dive, but man, when we started putting it all together, it was so much fun to play that stuff, and it was very involved,
and then you did it on video.
What's that?
You did it live.
Yeah, you did.
You did it live on camera, and then they sold it in stores.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Well, I mean, I'll give you a good example here too. How a guy like Jamie has got your back. Because I have to laugh at this because like I said, when we filmed it and then I left, not too long after, they decided to Photoshop me off the cover.
Oh my God!
And I'm thinking that's funny. I was laughing. That was funny because you look at the cover. Keith is looking over at looking right at me across the stage, and it's like I'm a ghost. I'm not there really. But Jamie got really pissed about that, and he started a online petition to get me put back on the cover. And I tell you, that came from a place of sheer love and appreciation, and it was a beautiful thing.
That sounds like something he'd do.
Yeah. I didn't want it to look like it came from me, so I asked him to please take it off, but because I knew it wasn't going to make any difference anyway. But that's an example of how Jamie just is passionate about something. And he just puts himself out there.
And he was, because I had no contact with the band or whatever. Like since, when Bill left, I was done. And he was really passionate once you joined the band, Jeff, and and I agreed with him. And I was so glad and honored that both you and Keith, had me as guests as a guest at the Players show. And I mean, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It was really an amazing experience. So if the Players are around you, anybody that's watching right now, I know mainly right now we have a pretty much Chicago audience because it's the Jamie show. But if you're not, you got to check them out. The Players. I know you guys are doing a gig in Florida at the end of the month, but it was really a special day for me, and I got to thank you guys for that.
Oh man, it was a pleasure. And if
Yeah.
I remember correctly, you had a pretty amazing jacket on that night.
Oh my, yes, my blazer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always,
We got pictures after the show of that.
yes, I have a lot of loud blazers. I wear for the radio show. I remember my cousin Amy came to pick me up for it, and as I got in the car to get in, she says, "Are you fucking kidding me?" As I got in the car, just shook her head. She knows what my loud clothing choices.
Didn't the Players just play up in Long Island or something?
We did a little while back, yeah, a couple months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a cool gig.
Got out of
What was the
Florida
name
and
of
you're
that
playing around the East Coast,
Yeah,
all the
there
way up to New York.
Two things. There was a gig in Virginia. There was a gig in North Carolina, and a couple up in New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of that? Oh, it was the Suffolk Theater on Long Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Riverhead? Is that Riverhead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm from Long Island.
All right.
I know exactly where Riverhead is. It's pretty funny. I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived there in since 2001 when Jamie and I moved in together.
Yeah.
And there's all these places now. I think in Huntington, the Paramount.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead. There's all these places now. The only places that were there when I lived there was Nassau Coliseum and Jones Beach. That's it. Oh, and wait a second. Westbury Music Fair.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Great.
The Rock and Roll Microwave.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you, Keith, there in Westbury Music Fair. I saw a Christmas show. It's the rotating stage that around. Yeah, I saw that.
Was that the gig where the horn guys were running around the Christmas tree?
It could have been. I remember it was great. It was I think it was I know you did Jolly Old St. Nicholas. I think it was right after the release of not the Christmas album, but the re-release with the extra tunes where it's called What's It Gonna Be, Santa? Which one of my favorite Christmas albums of all time. And like I said, Bill doing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas on your arrangement. Chef's kiss to you. That's amazing.
Wild to see have Keith. Do they let Keith sing lead on a Macy's float on national TV? That was,
and the Today Show.
Chicago's done that parade a few times now, haven't they? I think they just did it recently, and I think they did it at least a couple times with Keith and I think did you do the Macy's parade?
I did not. They did that. I think you guys did it 2018 that winter. It was really cold, but that was one of those things I always wanted to do. But oh well.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much. Really cold, really windy.
Yeah.
You wave a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
You guys did the tree lighting ceremony and it was brutally cold that night, right?
Oh God.
Rockefeller Center. Yeah.
But you go through all that to be on TV for about a minute.
Yep. Exactly.
But it's still pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Well, let me go to Cindy real quick before we wrap up. I'm going to let you
I did not know Cindy was from Long Island.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Cindy, any final words you want to say to any of the guys or the previous guests before I let you go?
Thank you very much. Like I said, this would mean a lot to Jamie. He's
a legend.
What you're all doing.
Yeah, he would.
And I thank you. And I thank you also. Thank you very much. And it's very appreciated. Thank you.
Well, I'm here for you and anything you need. And right now I'm getting through this show. I think the hardest part is gonna be tonight when I don't get that call from Jamie making fun of me how I did the interviews. But it's thank you, Cindy, and we're all here for you.
Thank you.
Well, and send our love to Amy.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah,
I will.
All right, thank you.
Hang in there, girl.
All right.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, but yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys coming and doing this and hanging out. I mean, it means a lot. Jamie was a good friend, and you know, I wouldn't know most of you without Jamie. I mean, he just knew my love for music. We had a lot of the same taste, and you know, he introduced me to Jeff, Keith, and you know, and Dwayne, we just reunited because of Jamie. But you know, it's nice to that he left behind some sort
Absolutely.
of you know, some sort of you know, legacy, and people know him and what he's meant to the
He brought us all together tonight, and that's a very rare moment to have Bill and Tamara
yeah.
and Rob Saul and Keithy and Jeffy Pooh.
Yeah, Jeffy Pooh. And guys, Keith, Jeff, anything coming up? I know you have a gig in Florida. Anything else? Where can folks go see you? Because I mean, man, I'll tell you, God's honest truth, no fingers crossed. That was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Was the Players. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a show coming up next, not next weekend, but the following weekend on May 31st in the Villages. Looking forward to that one. And you know, we got some things in the works for later in the year, trying to put together, and definitely next year. But we're trying to put together some stuff out west. You know, do some stuff in California, and if we can put that together, then that'll be fun because we can, you know, get back together with Bill and Gordon and hit the stage with those guys. So that's always fun, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
struggling along.
Late to the party. Hold on, before we go later. There he is, Lauren Chef, with us here. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
Hey, everyone. How are you?
Hey, Lauren.
What's up, Lauren?
Look at those good-looking guys. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Keith.
What's going on?
We got Dwayne Bailey on the phone too. That you don't see on video. The Champlins already left. They were fed up with us, but we were just wrapping things up. But I did. Dwayne was talking about it. You and Dwayne played in a band together. We're talking about the old Ustream days.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Trouble days.
Any?
I remember one Ustream show when I would log in, and there would be Lauren would be going through old photos of the Chef family and his mom, and then Jamie would be on his camera, and they'd have like a split screen or something, and and they'd both be sitting there, you know, going over rare tapes and all this stuff, and both of those guys got into Ustream very heavily. Of course, Jason brought it in first. He kind of turned everybody onto it, and then all of a sudden, everybody was live streaming. You know, you could tune in and watch Lauren working out in the gym, and training and doing early ballet lessons.
Early ballet moves. Holy shit, that's Dwayne talking.
Yes, Dwayne. Dwayne's on the phone. Yeah. And have you met Jeff, who replaced your brother in Chicago?
Yeah, we just had dinner a few months ago.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Nashville, yeah.
Ah, nice. Okay, I didn't know how this all worked. You know, I don't know.
It's all incestuous, man.
Yeah. Oh, bad. But yeah, Lord, I appreciate you coming on, and you know, Bill and Tamara were here earlier, and we were just talking about some good memories of Jamie, you know.
Yeah. Oh, good old James.
Yeah.
Chicago kid.
The Chicago Kid, 1969. But
So I take it 1969 was not his birth year.
No, he was. That's the year I think Chicago. Released their first album or something like that. Yeah, he was 79. Actually, yeah, 10 years later, 79. Because I'm 82 and he was 79. Yeah.
You're 82. You look great.
Do I? Oh, thank you.
For 82. Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, no! Oh yeah. No, I was born in 82. I'm not 82 years old. Gosh, no.
Except for this, in honor of Jamie, Stop kissing Bill Champlin's ass.
Yeah, that's what I get. The call I would get tonight is stop acting like a little schoolgirl and kissing Bill Champlin's ass.
Hey man, I've spent my whole life
embarrassing.
kissing Bill Champlin's ass.
I know. I'm usually good. I've had many celebrities on the show. I've interviewed Grace Slick. I mean, I've had Brad Garrett on. I mean, I've interviewed Lucille Ball's daughter. I mean, I've had a lot of people on, but every time
Lucille's
Bill
balls.
comes on,
What?
yeah.
Hey, Rob, I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
Are you related to Mort Saul?
Who?
Mort Saul, the
No.
comedian?
No, I don't know him.
Oh, you're not?
No.
You don't know who Mort Saul is?
No, is this a joke? What are you doing to me? Mort Saul?
No. Mort Saul is a famous comedian.
Oh no, I don't know.
I thought you were connected to him in some way. Mort Saul.
No, Mort Saul.
No, he's related to Saul Good. What are you talking about?
That's what it was. I was going to say, I thought
Old
Jason
school.
used Rob Saul as his alien
Mort
for a
Saul
while
is a
on the
famous
road.
comedian.
But it was Saul Good.
A very edgy comedian back in the 60s and 70s. Anyway, never mind. Never mind. I thought you were.
What up, Lore? Joseph Heroes.
Hey, Joseph, what's happening?
There you go. Oh man, but well, it's good to get everybody back together. And like I said, Jamie's untimely passing. He was. I mean, I don't know. I think you're around. I was born in '82. Are you around my age, Lauren?
I wish. Fuck, man.
Oh.
I wish.
I know. I know because you were good friends with Will Champlin, who I'm friends with, and me and Will were both born in '82. I thought you two were like close in age.
Yeah, man. No, Will's 83. He's 10 years younger than me. I was born in '73, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm just good friends with Will because the Chaplins took me in from a very young age, man. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I remember Champlin Chef. When the internet first came out, I had those big AOL computers where he was like, doing all that stuff. And I remember this song I would listen to. You and Will had a song together called "I Won't Let You Go," and I remember listening.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Way back.
Wow.
Way back.
They did a lot of stuff on that Ustream thing too.
Yeah.
Lauren would have Will on his show, and
and what was that guy with the songs? What was that guy with the eye patch, Lauren? He would have Will on
the Hawk. We won't go
yeah,
into too much of the Hawk here, but
I got it.
What's interesting about the Ustream, obviously Jason found it and loved it and started building a community there, and of course I jumped on it around the same time, and that's really when I think of Jamie. Those are the kind of the years that. I really was talking to Jamie a lot, and he was just the internet brought everyone together, obviously. And but Jamie and I would be streaming, or I'd be live streaming, and Jamie'd be on with me, and we'd be just pulling up random songs and just going through collections and sharing a bunch of stuff with everyone. And that's some of my earliest memories of Jamie. It's definitely just that Ustream kind of. Just talking about whatever. He knew so much about fucking Chicago that it was an encyclopedia for me, to learn.
Yeah.
Who's blowing up, man?
I know it's me. I don't know. I mean, I have my phone on silent, but it's still going through to the soundboard because I needed to connect my my phone to the soundboard to get Dwayne in, pump Dwayne. Dwayne's old school, man. He
okay.
He is, I got to dial him up. I had to use a rotary phone and plug it in to call Dwayne today.
It's true. Last time I saw Dwayne in real life, he wasn't even there. He was just it was a hologram.
It was a hologram of Dwayne. Now you and Dwayne played in a band together, right, Lauren?
We did.
Yeah,
we did. We had some moments.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We played a number of gigs around LA, and Dale Everett was the lead singer, who was the son of Chad Everett, who was an actor from the 60s and 70s. He had a hit show on TV called Medical Center. Chad Everett. You can Google him.
Google him.
Dale was a funny guy. That band was called Belly Puddle, and then Lauren did a solo project called Cardboard Cindy, which is just slamming. He played almost all the instruments. Jason played on it. I played a little on it. He had Dave Levito on guitar and a number of other people, but he mainly did everything on it.
Well, Susie in the chat says we want to see Dwayne. Unfortunately, you got to sign up for his OnlyFans for that.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Yeah, you can't see Dwayne unless you sign up.
OnlyFans / Goblin Girl.
It's hosted by ARP.
Oh man, but
I just want one thing real quick, Rob. I'm not even looking at that chat. I just want to say hi to everyone that's in there. I'm so glad that you're all here.
Yeah.
We're all kind of streaming for Jamie, and his daughter lost her father.
Yeah, they were close. Jamie and Amy. Yeah,
Jamie and Amy. So
yeah.
I'm just glad that we can just be here and kind of smile and laugh and remember a couple memories and of all the good times.
Yeah, well, we're gonna wrap things up soon because I know that a lot of these guys have been hanging out for a while. Yeah. I may take up too much of their time. I'll wait for Keith to get back, but until then, Dwayne, anywhere that you want to, anything you want to plug? Anywhere you got a website? What's going on?
I have a website that is now an official museum.
A museum
that I have not updated since 2008.
Oh wow!
And it's a time capsule.
I just decided to just leave it as kind of like a little museum piece, because I can't deal with the tech side of it. Because at the time I was living with a professional graphic artist who worked for Clear Channel, and she built Tamplin's website, she built Triss's website, she built my website, she built Son's website.
Yeah.
And after we split up, I just didn't want to. I didn't feel like finding another tech, and so I just left it up there. And it's photos and information. It's so outdated. It's kind of funny. So I just left that up there. But as far as plugging anything, there's nothing I want to plug.
Well, Dwayne, I think I'm going to speak on behalf of the entire Chicago fandom community. We want to see you slaying
Look at Keith's cute little dog.
Yes, I know. I was just saying. I was just.
Don't let Christy gnome around that dog.
Say hi, Stevie. Stevie Nicks is saying hi. What's the dog's name, Keith?
That would be Peanut.
Peanut.
Jeff, do you have a dog?
Oh yes, I do. Don't know where the dog is at this moment, but yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, but I don't.
Lauren, do you have a dog?
I do. It's an imaginary dog, and I've had him for 50 years. He's awesome.
Well,
those are cute little dogs.
Well, Dwayne, I mean,
Keith, what's your dog's name?
My dog,
Peanut.
Yeah,
Peanut. Of course, he said it like
Peanut.
he was like my dog, Peanut. Of course.
Peanut. Okay.
Like, how dare you?
Hey, I'll say this about Dwayne: if we can ever get his ass out here to fucking Nashville, and we gotta do it, I'm gonna fucking record some shit with Dwayne. We've got to do it before.
No, you do. I mean, because Dwayne.
Lauren, let's do a Ustream show. Let's bring Ustream back.
Well, okay. Dwayne, you got to get connected to the internet more. But
let's bring MySpace back.
When did Ustream die?
Gosh,
it's gone.
It's
he sold it for hundreds of millions of dollars to IBM. That thing's done.
It's hanging out somewhere.
Ustream must have died with MySpace.
Yeah, exactly. MySpace.
Yeah.
Man. But I mean, Dwayne, I think everybody would love to see you slay a nice solo. We haven't seen you in a while, but
can't take it for granted. That's
my goal is to get him out here. I'm going to get Dwayne out to Nashville, and we're going to record some shit.
Jamie and I would have a lot of late night conversations, and we would talk about kids watching the video and the band played on. That was our jam. and the band played on, and we watched that, and that was Dwayne and Jason and Bill and everybody at their best. But you know,
I want to
thought
watch
it was
the Chicago 2 DVD.
yeah, oh my
I
God, that's
haven't
great
seen it.
too.
They
Yeah,
said
Jamie
that
said
it's on-
that. Then you get to see Keith and Jeff at their best. I
Yeah,
mean,
let's do that.
that's I mean, it's fantastic. But
I got to see it.
yeah, you do. It is a sight to behold. These guys are talented. And Jeff, where can folks find you to to see what you're up to and keep up to date with you?
Oh yeah, well, they can always go to my website, jeffcoffey.com. It's COFFEY it's Irish.
Yes.
All
like
the
to
dates
drink.
are on there, all the stuff's on there, all the music's on there, all Facebook, Instagram, all that, social media. So YouTube, it's all up there. So
And Jamie sent me one of your albums too, which I love, a CD of yours, which is fantastic. So
thank you.
I mean, Jeff is one of the along with Dwayne is one of the great tenors of our generation. So you got to check him out. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
what
Keith
did Keith and I just chopped liver over here?
Oh, sorry, Lauren
No,
Chef's
joking.
here, by the way.
We're the second
Lawrence,
best
one of our
tenors in
great tenors too.
Oh God. And Keith, I saw you're doing, I mean, Keith is doing something cool that I saw online that people in the area, they can get guitar lessons from Keith, or you can even do it on like something like this, like Zoom, where you can have Keith Allen, one of the lead guitarists from Chicago for almost 20 years, will teach you how to play guitar. How do folks do this, Keith?
I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
Private message me.
Yeah.
There
you go.
It's interesting. I'm learning more teaching people than they're learning. It comes back at you,
Yeah.
It reinforces what you thought you knew.
Keith and I are getting ready to, do some writing and put a record out together. So
that's awesome.
That's
how about getting some guest work from Dwayne, Bill Champlin, and Lauren on there?
I'm sure it'll be loaded up with special.
Man.
Jeff and I, we're only two people.
Surround ourselves with,
Right.
Lauren, you're playing everywhere around Nashville, right? I mean, they can. Yeah, I mean, you do talented like your brother Jason Chef. If you didn't know, I don't know if I said this. He's Jason Chef brother.
Who?
And Jerry Chef from Elvis.
Famous Elvis.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm amazed Lauren's even here tonight and not at work.
Yeah,
bro, I'm still unpacking. I'm just starting to work on my studio and
Lauren just
unpacking.
moved into a new house.
Yeah, so it's
there you go. Brian Cruz says have all of them on the album. Let's do the album tonight. Put me and my dog on the album. Who knows?
Lauren just drove a moving truck from San freaking Frisco to Nashville.
So where is there a website you have, Lauren, where people could find where you're playing? I know you're all around Nashville and you're doing a lot of gigs.
But if anyone's watching this, I'm sure we're kind of connected on Instagram or something like that. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to still get a gig with Tom Hurst. I've been here for 7 years, Jeff. I haven't done a gig with him yet.
I'll put in a good word for you, man.
There you go. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let me go. Any final words, since this is a tribute for Jamie Yarbrough, the Chicago kid who has meant so much to this fandom of the Chicago community. I'll start with Dwayne. Any final words for Jamie?
I'll tell you, man, Jamie, like I said earlier, he brought so much. He uncovered and discovered the great archaeologist that he was. So many rare things that none of us would have ever heard. All that early CTA stuff from 1968 before they got signed to a deal. I mean, even though it wasn't great sounding recordings, you could still hear all those, you could hear all the the songs that ended up on CTA, Chicago 2, Chicago 3. It was just a revelation of a discovery. And he brought that to the fan community. And in addition to incredibly rare videos, not just audio, but, photos, just inside information. And he was a great Chicago historian, to the fact that Rhino even hired him, Lamb hired him, the band themselves hired him. And so he brought a lot to the community.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just the fans that worked with him. They, Rhino worked with him, the band worked with him. It's just like Dave Jepson, Dave Jepson and Jamie were two of the big collectors that brought so much, that discovered so much. Like Dave is the one that found the Jump for Joy video when Chicago did the Duke Ellington tribute TV show on CBS in 1973.
Yeah.
Dave provided that to the community, and on and on and on. It's just just amazing the gold mine that Jamie provided for the fan community and brought to the band. And there's, I don't know who's going to pick up that baton from Jamie. I don't know who that will be. But,
fantastic. Well, thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad me and you are we're buddies now. I mean, that's a new thing.
Absolutely.
So I love it. But Lauren Chef, final words, please.
Man, I think Dwayne really nailed it, man. We gotta be so grateful for Jamie just going out and finding all this cool stuff for us fans of the music, and finding stuff, especially from the era that my brother was with the band, was great. He found stuff we'd never seen before. And I'm just glad that now I can share the Live at Barnaby's without Jamie getting pissed at me. No, man, I'm just grateful, man, for a lot of good times with Jamie. He was, we had a good time collecting. I will say that, and he'll be missed, man. But what's funny, Dwayne? I think Jamie unearthed every freaking possible thing out there. So we don't need anyone to take a spot. He did all the work, man.
Yeah, we just need to. Listen, I'm talking to Cindy about that hard drive. We got to get that hard drive. We don't lose that on thin air. But,
it was definitely one of his the things that he was his mission. That his. I'm not saying that was his. He's a father and a husband and all that as well in his personal life. But as far as music and everything, he definitely, it was definitely his calling.
Yeah.
And this is my brother in the chat under his wife's name. He said, "Did you tell them we played Chicago songs in high school jazz studies?" Yes, me and my brother were in jazz studies together. And nice. I used to fight for us to do Chicago songs because I was the keyboardist. He played the bass. So I finally fought enough, and we did Color My World with me doing the piano, and we did I'm a Man. So yes, I told them now, Michael. They know. They know.
Very cool.
But there you go. But all right, Keith Allen, final words.
I think it's kind of all been said here, but I wish I'd gotten to hang out with Jamie a little bit more. I mean, I met him a few times, and he was a cool dude, and he just like I said, I always saw him as a really accurate straight shooter when it came to the band. He sort of really had the pulse of pretty much everything that was going on, and I appreciated that from him. And and like I said, I loved going on his YouTube channel and just surfing through all the cool shit he had on there. It was great. So
Well, thank you, Keith. Jeff, anything you want to say, or
Sure. I think what I'll miss the most, and I think what a lot of people will miss, is Jamie's passion for the music.
Absolutely.
It's if any musician who goes out there and plays, all you can hope for is you could play for someone who really truly appreciates what you're doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
God, if we could play for an audience full of Jamies, that would
Yeah.
be the ultimate gig, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just, you know, I don't know. He meant a lot to a lot of different people in the Chicago world, you know? And,
Absolutely.
he
And
met
that's
so
how I
many
met
people.
him, and that's how he ended up doing work on this show, and we just became really good friends. And when I talked to Cindy and found out that he passed and he was just cremated with no services or obituary, I said I gotta reach out to everybody I can, and you know, just kind of do something to, you know, honor you know, Jamie's life. And I can't tell you how much it means to me and Jamie's family that you guys took time out of your busy schedules to come and be a part of this. So thank you guys very much, and I appreciate
Absolutely.
you. With that being said, I'm going to say good night and God bless. Rest in peace, rock in peace, Jamie Yarbrough. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you,
Thank you.
and we'll be in touch soon.
See you guys.
See you guys.